YouTube, what the Total War Rome 2 crap is going on? HeirofCarthage back in Total War Rome 2. And some of you are like, Air, come on, man, where's the Rome 2 online replays? Well, I'm kind of stuck in an odd spot. I'm in the patch 17 beta, and some of you are like, Air, you can opt out of the patch 17 beta and go play. You can. My game locks up a lot whenever I opt out of the patch 17 beta. It works great in the beta, but for some reason, whenever I try and revert out of the beta, it gets to where it crashes a lot, which is what my problem was previously. So I can't really get multiplayer matches right now unless someone had the beta, which, I mean, it's not to say it's not a possibility. You know, I might have some time coming up where I could let you all know, get the beta, come play some matches with me. Until then, if someone sends me some replays, I could probably play them. But I can't really record any multiplayer ones. But I do intend to revisit Rome 2 multiplayer more once the patch is out. I enjoy it a great deal, and people still play it. So we will definitely revisit it. And some of you want me to finish the faction-focused videos. That's true. It's something that I should do, even though it's late. And I could probably do something like that on Attila as well, if we wanted to. I don't know how long it'll take me to get it done, but I'll see if I can do that for you all, because it seems like enough of you have quite a bit of interest, and obviously a lot of you really like those online battles, and I like playing them too. They're good for me. The online battles are good because I can get quite complacent playing against an AI, because they don't require certain types of challenges from you. So it's easy to get complacent, and playing against other players is always a good way to hone your skills. So it's all good fun. Looks like we're ready to end a turn here. Do have a couple of upgrades we can divvy out here. This new judge that we had to hire down here because our last one got converted. Let's see, bureaucrat. What else does this guy have? Empire maintenance and +2 public order, which could kind of be handy. Let's go ahead and unlock this. Well, administrator's already unlocked. It's not bad. It would give me more authority, but we're not really worried about avoiding enemy agents in my mind. Let's go with the one that reduces empire maintenance. That should be good. And then we got this this champion here who should need to be upgraded, or mercenary veteran is what they call him for Carthage. Let's see. So the militancy is the one that gives me more training, which is cool. Harass. Tempt. Marksmanship. Interesting. Assassination slaughter. That sounds like fun. Let's throw that one on. I think we're ready to end this turn, though, because I am out of money. We are at war with Massilia. They were allied with the... I think it was the Insubres that we went to war with. It's either them or the Ligurians. I think it was the Ligurians, actually, yeah. They were allied with them, and so whenever I went to war with them...
And with great care.
I'm not really interested in doing that right now. So yeah, I need to go take Massilia, but Massilia, the province that it's in... Oh, now that's interesting. So the Arverni just liberated the Volcae, which reside at Tolosa, which is part of the province that I want to cover. But that would mean that the Volcae are now the military ally of... Well, no, they're a military ally of Massilia. Very interesting. Maybe they were liberated from the Arverni. That would make more sense. Yes, because Massilia is at war with them, which is great, because this means that I could now maybe make a blitz to Tolosa and have the whole province of Provincia, I guess is what it's called there. We can have that all to ourselves, basically. So this is going to be a fantastic opportunity, actually. So let's go see if we can push on Massilia itself. Take the old Greek colony for ourselves. We're going to convert this building in Genua. Let's go with the village here. And let's see, food, we should be good. Let's go with the harbor. And then let's get some farming income in to help support this province. And we can eventually build another building there at Padavia. Well, maybe we can't. I don't remember, but we'll figure it out. Shouldn't be a big deal. We have plenty of money. We can upgrade certain things, and I think I did down in Carthage. I'm just going to see how that turns out because I kind of just went through blanket upgrading a bunch of stuff. It wouldn't hurt to upgrade the stone quarry there while we had it. We got plenty of money. Got things upgrading there. Looks like Numantia, or Carthagenesis is pretty good shape. All things considered, Cartuba should be in good shape. Yeah, let's just we can build up this amphitheater on there. Probably be helpful. Let's go with the brick dryer. We got the Shrine Habel Haman, which is pretty good. It uses more food if we go the other route. That one gives us 8 food. Plus 4 public order, which is the same. Or no, it goes from... So it would actually cover the public order penalty, building the Shrine of Baal Haman. And the food would cover in the new fishmonger. And let's just go ahead and upgrade that, just because we can. Alright, so I think we're good. Let's go ahead and end another turn and put the push on Massilia. I am going to leave the one army and with Hannibal at Mediolanium, just to make sure we finish kind of getting that province all calmed down. Is that the Ligurians? I believe it is. I didn't know they were still alive. It is. There's a Ligurian stack outside of Massilia, and I guess they mean to defend their allies by coming after me here. I can attack them though, or we could just ignore them, to be honest. If we ignore them, they could potentially make a run back for Genua. But what we could do is just come over here and poison their provisions if possible. Ah, see, the Massilians are back behind them. Neither one of their armies is particularly good, and this leaves Massilia like completely undefended for the most part. They do have... They actually have a pretty sturdy garrison here. That's impressive. All these Greek garrisoned hoplites. We could very well get attacked by a huge force, which would be a lot of fun to play. Really would. We could probably take the city straight up like this too, but those towers, folks, those towers, they are nuts. Let's just maybe... Let's build a couple of engines, and I know it's a bit risky because we got a lot of enemies, but it'll be kind of fun. Let's lure in some enemies and see what we can do as far as potentially getting a nice big fun fight kicked off over there. Let's go ahead and build the Holosodoros barracks. Holosodoros, whatever it is. So we got that taken care of. Food market. Yeah, we're good. We're good all across the board there. Let's see. None of that. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Let's just see what happens with the Ligurians and the Massilians. See if they coordinate attack together. They very well could. And like I said, the garrison army from Massilia is actually the dangerous one here. The Massilians will not be reinforced by their allies. They must not have been in range, because I don't think I successfully poisoned them. So they have a lot of this citizen militia, but I mean that's a sturdy line. I mean, they're just garrison hoplites, but it's, you know, it'll be a sturdy-ish line. And the Greek local archers there too are a nice unit for them. Now I have no elephants in this stack, but I've got a very nice line of hoplites and the heavy cavalry to back it up. So they are going to be in trouble from that standpoint. But this will be fun. It's be a big battle. It's possible that the AI could be coming at me from a couple of, like, they may be coming in from the side of the battle map. We'll have to kind of watch for it. There's some high ground if I get up on the mountain. But I really feel like my hoplites power is in the charge, so I'm probably going to take the low ground over here. Even though it'll be a more even fight for the enemy, it capitalizes on the charge bonus of my units, and I think that that will give me the biggest advantage here. Being able to crush their infantry decisively on the charge will probably be to my benefit. rather than getting up on the broken terrain. So that would be my goal. I'm going to use Libyan infantry on the flanks. Got my hoplites, Libyan infantry, everybody's all set up. I got a few skirmishers, we'll put them in the center because again, it seems like the AI chooses the skirmishers as kind of a focal point. I do want to put my cavalry general out here. I like using my Libyan infantry to support my cavalry, just in case there's infantry that wants to get into a fight with me. Hey, so did you all see the news? Oh my gosh, that was some exciting game news for me. Now, it's not like it was my favorite game ever, but you all know I like Halo because I had the Heir of Reach channel. So Heir of Reach is definitely coming back. I think we might have to rename it. Maybe we'll rename it like Patchy Spartan or something like that because I like Halo. But so Halo 5's coming out. You can now stream Xbox to the Windows on Windows 10. I haven't gotten to mess with Windows 10 just yet because it's giving me some trouble on the upgrade. And it's partly probably because I have 2 hard drives, and it seems like their little upgrade tool doesn't want to work, which means that I think I have to go create a boot disk and do a fresh install, and I'm just too lazy to do it. I don't feel like backing up my system and doing it. Plus, I'm using my computer to upload videos every night, so I don't really have like this big spare time to take care of it. I'm certainly interested. Ooh, this is not good. Let's take... We need to take our troops. No. We need to hurry. We need to reposition like this. Got some enemy cav out here. It's just Greek citizen cavalry. I might see if it wants to engage my heavy Carthaginian cav. It's trying to get a rear charge on my swordsman. There's another... My Carthaginian cav should be superior to the Greek cav. It is, substantially. There is some Greek skirmisher cav, though, that I would love to steer clear of. But that fight's going to wrap up pretty quickly. What I'm trying to do is move to secure this flank. This flank was being threatened by the Greeks, so rather than lining up this way and allowing them to have access to my left flank, I'm going to reline this way so that I can face the Greeks head-on. So we'll see here. Let's get that cavalry out of there. We had a very decisive victory. Only 2 losses to the Greek citizen cav. There is skirmishers getting almost in range of those local archers, so we need to get our cavalry out of there. Little initial skirmish. Those types of skirmishes were actually pretty common, apparently, back in the day because, you know, armies didn't have GPS, they didn't have a radar map or anything like that where they knew where each other were at, so they would kind of sometimes have scouting parties, of course, and their scouting parties might run into each other, and they would get into skirmishes. And, you know, the skirmish sometimes was a prelude to the battle, or maybe even jockeying for confidence. I don't know, potentially position on the battlefield, maybe, I guess. I don't know what all they did it for. But it was common to have skirmishes. Hannibal skirmished with the Romans several times. His Numidians were excellent skirmishers as far as getting out and harassing Roman troops. I think he used them at Trebia to go harass the Roman camp and goad... wasn't it? I think it was Tiberius Sempronius Longus, who was the commander for the Romans at Trebia, and Hannibal's Numidians, if I recall the story right, lured him into battle, causing the Romans to cross the river, and it was apparently planned by Hannibal. He kind of goaded the Romans into crossing the river before breakfast, so the Roman troops were tired and cold from crossing a freezing river, and Hannibal had his troops eat early, and warm themselves by the fire and rub themselves with oil and fat and all that other stuff so they could stay warm. And he was outnumbered horribly at the River Trebia, but he ended up striking a massive victory against the Romans, one of his more famous battles. There's some Vocanti levies. I don't know what these guys are, if they are infantry or what. They are infantry, and they are about to get charged by a heavy hoplite. I'll just try and smash them out of the fight pretty quick. They're going after my skirmishers. AI is kind of lining up funny here. But anyway, yeah, at the River Trebia, any of you who don't know that story, how it ends, I guess I'll kind of tell you here as best I can while I'm controlling my troops. Of course, Hannibal won. He defeated Longus. I think that was his name, Longus. Tiberius Sempronius Longus. So he did defeat him using a rear strike with this cavalry, which I believe was commanded by Hannibal, which was, I can't remember if it was his brother or his cousin. I really need to read up again on all the story of Hannibal. It's absolutely fascinating, which is why somebody sometimes asks me, Air, why do you like Carthage so much? That's why. Hannibal's the reason I like Carthage so much. Hannibal was an amazing commander, extremely talented, which again was quite odd because Carthaginian commanders had kind of a horrible record, to be honest. There was a few decent ones. And sometimes the Carthaginians would hire mercenary commanders as well as hiring mercenary troops. And there was a Spartan, I'm trying to remember his name. Was it Xenophon?
One of our units
Man, I can't remember his name, but there was a Spartan commander that had led some Carthaginian troops to some success at one point too. But Hamilcar Barca was also an excellent commander. He did not find the same kind of success versus the Romans that Hannibal did, but Hamilcar was also probably in a little bit of a worse position. He never was really defeated by the Romans on Sicily, not decisively speaking, but he was never really able to gain an advantage over the Romans. But he had some similar issues like Hannibal did, in that he was never really reinforced properly by Carthage. The Carthaginian, and again, this is just from my layperson's study of history, so I may not be entirely correct, but the Carthaginian council of nobles was not always a big fan of the Barcas. I think that there was probably suspicion that the Barcas wanted to consolidate power and become a ruling faction, basically, and that may be true. Obviously, it wasn't an uncommon thing to happen back in those days. But there was always some suspicion, it seemed like, of the Barcid dynasty, and I don't know if that's the exact reason why Hamilcar did not get all the support that he had hoped to during the First Punic War. But the Carthaginians suffered a number of setbacks that were not just the fault of Hamilcar not being supported properly. I mean, the Romans, they were good. They had to learn over time too. But Hamilcar was not able to gain some decisive, deciding victories in Sicily. And eventually, I think they made peace terms with the Romans, and that's kind of what kicked off the Mercenary War. After the peace terms, Carthage had to pay a pretty big debt to Rome as punishment for the war. And so, in any case, when that came back, Carthage was struggling to pay the mercenaries that they had hired, and it kicked off the Mercenary War. And Hamilcar Barca actually was called in, and I want to say he levied up troops from Libya and other, maybe even potentially some citizens, and Carthage was able to defeat basically the same mercenaries that had been fighting for Carthage were now fighting against them because they hadn't received their pay, and he was able to put an end to it. I don't recall exactly how that war ended, but he did put an end to it, and it was at that point that the Barcids went to Iberia and began to attempt to rebuild some of the wealth and might of Carthage that was lost due to having lost Sicily to the Romans. And it was that wealth there, that was kind of like the learning grounds for Hannibal. He obviously there was some battles with the local Iberians, and it was through that experience that Hannibal kind of continued to learn about combat, and eventually his father was actually killed in combat against an Iberian tribe, and that was when he wasn't actually the eldest Barca there, I don't believe. I believe he had an older brother. Again, I forget all the different pieces of the story, but it was definitely an interesting story, and well worth learning about if you're into ancient history, even if you're not a big Carthage fanboy like I am. Nothing wrong with learning something cool.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
I'm going to go ahead and start trying to do some outflanking. I better stop talking about the history that I know so little about and start trying to control my troops. I'm hearing some Roma Invicta coming from my Carthaginian troops. That's probably not exactly what we want to hear from them. Skirmisher calves charging in there. Let's see if we can finish it off. Right here is looking like a good rear charge opportunity. I'm going to go into the flying wedge formation. Actually, I'm not. Let's take out the skirmishers real quick. Let's take out this cavalry. We need to get in here. Oh, this unit must have gotten outflanked. That's not good. Yeah, the outflanking penalties are severe. And you can see that I lost a Carthaginian hoplite because of it. Due to that mercenary Gallic sword, which otherwise would have lost that fight quite badly. But when you allow a unit to get outflanked like that, you will die, and you will die pretty decisively. It's kind of a neat feature, to be honest. It just, you know, it probably pretty healthily represents that in real life men would not like to fight while being outflanked. Not at all. Let's use our general to come hit home over here. We're just getting hit with javelins anyway. My own skirmishers, I'm going to target some of those Greek local archers. The fight is stable here in the center at this point because I'm not outflanked anywhere. If these Libyans are free, we can start bringing them around. We've got to watch out for those Greek citizen militia spears. The rear charge here freed up this group. So I can now charge into this flank. Let's get this cavalry unit free and come destroy this Massilian hoplite. We're going to chase down some of these fleeing skirmishers, let's get our own, and let's get some close-ups on the combat. Here's my Carthaginian cavalry getting into the back of the Massilian hoplites who are pinned by my Libyans. And then out here in the main blob, we've got my Carthaginians that have basically surrounded the Massilians on most fronts. So you can see some of that action close-ups looking pretty sweet. Sorry I have to zoom out, but I do have to control things here. Let's get this unit and pin the Massilian general, which is a royal guard. I'm assuming it's a hoplite unit. Massilian Royal Guard. It's a pretty sweet hoplite unit. That's neat. Yeah, the Massilian infantry is losing quite badly. Got plenty of cavalry free. We've got more infantry free over here now too. Let's actually unselect that one. We need to run around and hit the Massilian Royal Guard. I got a great charge on it though with my hoplites and killed a pretty fair number of them. It's going to be time for me to get into the back of this fight over here. So let's watch kind of a decisive cavalry rear charge. This should break the morale of the remaining Massilians here in the blob. Kind of surprised we haven't already seen a chain route. We should here pretty quick. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a chain route. I should have popped some of these off already, but I'll go ahead and do it. Let's rear charge the Massilian Royal Guard. We'll get a nice good flying wedge going because it should create a nice impact. Get that other cav unit. Yeah, that blob's going to get absolutely destroyed. Here comes the flying wedge rear charge. Ah, the enemy routed before I got to him. Well, let's do the charge anyway. Boom! Yeah, it's a very heavy infantry unit, so they won't get completely plowed, but they're going to take some pretty serious damage from that charge. And then all the Massilian troops were kind of trapped there. Let's quit the battle. So, fun battle. I don't know, like I said, I probably get some of my history tidbits wrong, so if I do, I'm sure that there's kind of a more serious historian watching that will probably correct me. But again, very much worth going and looking at. I want to say there's a book. I'm trying to remember the author. I think the last name of the author was Dodge, and he wrote a book about Hannibal that was really quite fantastic. That was my favorite one that I've read. Again, I don't know if it's the most accurate account or the most accepted account, but I mean, it's a very good book about Hannibal if you're interested in going to read. Julius Caesar's commentaries on the Gallic Wars are also very interesting. So this is it is about Caesar, and I guess there's some narcissism there, but it's still an interesting read. The Roman army, when you read about it, is just so different than the Carthaginian, like the stories you read about Hannibal. Now, of course, unfortunately, most of what we know about Hannibal comes from the Romans, and I say unfortunately because they didn't completely understand him, or Carthage, for that matter, so you're not getting probably the... Yeah, we're going to get attacked separately by Liguria here. We should be able to easily crush them too, and that reinforcing army is going to sally out. These guys got away because I hit continue battle on the last one just to watch the charge. If I would have ended it, I probably would have gotten even more kills. Let's go ahead and kill the Ligurians. Their army is going to be pretty craptacular. But anyway, yeah, to me it's just... both are fascinating. Hannibal was very different in his command style and tactics than Caesar, but Caesar apparently was more of a master of siegecraft, which is something that Hannibal did not. He did successfully, but you know, obviously he never sieged Rome and took it. So a lot of people think that that was his weakness, and maybe it was. Maybe siegecraft was not his thing. The Roman army, though, was particularly good at fortifications and sieges, and got even better at it over time, obviously. I'm going to leave a couple of my more damaged hoplite units behind in an attempt to make sure that they don't die in this battle. That would be most unfortunate. My slingers, all my cavalry are in good shape. And of course there's other interesting military history that you can read about too. There's some interesting military history, for me at least, from the Revolutionary War and American history. The British had, you know, obviously several good commanders and several times in history that, so I mean, you can read about some of that. There's all kinds of interesting stories. Alexander the Great, Attila the Hun. I mean, there's tons of it. Genghis Khan. I mean, very interesting. It's unfortunate that so much war happens. But I guess I don't enjoy war or people dying, but reading about the history of it is really quite fascinating. Though I hope to never participate in such a thing myself. I would be quite alright without that happening, and I hope that none of you ever have to either, but let's be honest, unless something serious changes, I think that too many of us will have an opportunity to experience such things. They're more fun to read about, as I'm sure that the people who participated in it would remind us. Anyway, so yes, I don't relish war in real life, and I don't think that most sane people do. Okay, my slingers are getting some nice shots here, but we're going to want to pull them back. It's getting fairly close to the time for me to get my hoplites into hoplite walls, so I'm going to attempt to do so. Yes, and we're going to have to try and quickly get our guys to charge forward so that we don't get outflanked.
Our general is under attack.
And we may very well get outflanked here. Hopefully we don't. If we do, we could potentially lose a lot of men here in the center because we are a little bit out of position. But it looks like we got a solid return charge. I'm just going to hold this flank here with the swordsmen so that I can't be outflanked. Just target those archers. Sometimes I do find myself wishing that Rome 2 had that shift and click drag waypoint system that you find in Attila. It is really a nice feature that's added.
One of our units is used.
Hopefully they carry that on into Warhammer. What is this? It's fairly... I think it's a weaker cavalry. One that we should be able to take care of. Let's slam into some of these skirmishers here. And let's cease fire with our own skirmishers, because we're probably Roma Invicta. Yeah, you're not Romans. A little bit of a glitch there in the battle chatter. Let's use those Libyan infantry to get into the back of that fight. Start wrapping up the Ligurian infantry pretty hard here before the Massilians show up to reinforce. What is that? Alpine phalanx? Interesting. Oh, just got some javelins or something chucked at me there too. Let's go ahead and attack that routing unit so we can finish it off. Yeah, my infantry is starting to wrap up the enemy infantry pretty badly here. And yeah, we're coming around behind all their troops. And I'm just trying to avoid that Alpine phalanx unit because it's a nice spear unit, it looks like. So I don't want to get my cavalry all tangled up with it until I have infantry to support. Yeah, all of the Ligurian troops are going to be routed off the field now with the exception of the skirmishers. I'm going to ignore the skirmishers and begin to reform and target them. Alpine skirmishers, no, they're not getting that many kills. We might be able to crush this Alpine phalanx unit with the charge from both sides. The the morale damage will probably finish it off. Because, yeah, it's going to get charged from both sides by very heavy cav. This is not a good place to be, people. That's what you call a cavalry sandwich right there. And unfortunately, they are the toppings. Yeah, completely dead. And understandably so. Yeah, stop targeting that because all my cavalry is in the vicinity. So yes, all that's left now is the Massilian hoplites that are bearing down on me. Let's get all my Carthaginian hoplites formed, and let's get their swordsman flank protection formed. I'm going to keep this one back in reserve because it's pretty damaged. And I'm going to let my cavalry ball take out those mercenary alpine skirmishers. Let's actually reform my hoplites just a little further back. And that way we have time to let them get where they're going. They're running around in phalanx, which is making them slower, so I'll take them out momentarily. Gonna run down a few of these alpine skirmishers in the meantime. This Carthaginian cav is excellent. I really like the way it's represented in DEI. The Carthaginian citizen cavalry, or I say citizen, not all of them would have been citizens necessarily. There were some all-citizen cav units, but they were excellent heavy cavalry, and that's related throughout history. And I always kind of hated that it felt like in Rome 2 that Carthaginian cavalry was very underestimated, or very underrepresented. That said, I'm not one of those people that feels like if Rome 2 isn't 100% completely historic that I hate it. It's nice to have a flavor of historic, but at the same time, I mean, it was a game, and that's just the way Carthage was represented, so it's okay. Won't be the end of the world. But yeah, I do like that in here they're represented as good, solid, heavy cav, and that's what they would have been. Heavy cav for the time. Obviously, heavy cav at that time probably looked different than, you know, later on during, say, like the later period with Belisarius and the other stuff. So no saddles or anything like that for this cavalry. Gonna pepper these Greek citizen militia just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get into a hoplite phalanx. I'm actually gonna start wrapping the flank in because the AI is blobbing towards the center. They really do like to go for your skirmishers, and the outflanking then becomes relatively easy if that's the mistake they make. Yeah, you can see the AI is not really sure. Those Greek citizen militia are going to get absolutely hammered. Now these garrison hoplites will do pretty good versus the Libyan infantry, actually. The problem is the Massilians have left their flank open to me at this point by attacking my flanks. So now my center can collapse on their flank. Their hoplites are wanting to give chase to my cav, so I will allow them to do so. It's wasting their time, and I can actually just bypass them and hammer out that unit there. Let's take these units and get ready to form up a main center. Yeah, so see, these Greek citizen militia got destroyed there. They will rout. I can pull back through my Libyans, and now we can take one unit and run this way, and use the other ones to pin the Greeks here in the center, and then ready them up for a hammer and anvil destruction, Alexander style. Their garrison hoplites are still determined to get to my cav, so I'll just make sure that they don't. I'm going to pull those Libyan infantry out of that fight. Reinforce with some hoplites. My Libyan infantry are going to catch those Greek garrison hoplites now, and I should be able to rear charge them. And we're catching that garrison hoplite there, and then I've got a rear charge. This ought to be pretty fun to... This ought to be a pretty sweet rear charge here. I'm going to get all formed up. their general is getting absolutely destroyed here. And then these guys are going to be getting torn up pretty badly as well. Managed to save all my units, and we've destroyed their garrison at the same time. So this is good. We ended up getting to fight all their guys on open field. Let's do a little bit of Massilian hoplite bowling here. Pretty nice charge. Like I said, these hoplite units are pretty heavy. They don't get destroyed entirely on the charge, but still going to be devastating to get hit from behind like that. So the Ligurian army is dead. Actually, this is Hannibal. The other army was not... Yeah, okay, I thought the other army was him, but yeah, this is him. He just racked up a lot of kills across 2 battles. So I want to say he just racked up over 5,000 kills in those 2. So destroying the Massilian garrison army, destroying the other Massilian army, and a Ligurian army. And he should still be in good shape to take Massilia, which has turned out to be pretty fun here. Do love this campaign. I like Rome 2 in general. Vanilla campaign, DEI campaign, it's just fun in general. I enjoy it a lot. So another heroic victory for Hannibal. He just keeps racking them up. So at this point we should be able to easily... Yeah, easily take the city. So Massilia falls to Hannibal, who was able to defeat the units that tried to garrison out against him, or tried to come out against him. Ooh, raise, sack, loot. Wow, we could loot the snot out of this place, and we are.
At your command.
Alright, well let's just start tearing this junk down, rebuild it, mold it into a part of our new Carthaginian Empire, the Hannibalic Carthaginian Empire, a strong, secure empire. I can't do a good Palpatine, but you got where I'm going with that. Emperor Hannibal Palpatine here. There we go. Let's build up some of that stuff. So we're making some really nice income here. We're making nice income already, but yeah, we'll continue to do so. And we just looted up a bunch of money that can help drive the war effort. Should be a lot of fun. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. HeirofCarthage signing off for now. I will see you back soon in the Carthage DEI campaign in Rome 2.